Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for Friday, June 20, 2025, the death of the business card edition. And this story comes to us from Christina Criddle, writing in the opinion section at the Financial Times, who reports that in San Francisco, at least, the custom of exchanging printed contact details on a business card have been replaced by the high-tech alternative of holding phones together to automatically swap numbers. At tech events, she often is provided with a lanyard, which has a QR code, which links to the attendee's LinkedIn profile, or a device that enables conference goers to tap lanyards in order to connect. It's not just on the West Coast. It looks like it's even in the United Kingdom. How about that? The UK moves to something new. LinkedIn's chief product officer said that business cards lost their relevance long ago. Of course, LinkedIn has a stake in their demise, and the Microsoft-owned corporate social network has made it easier to connect online, avoiding some of the awkwardness that comes with asking someone to give you contact details when face-to-face. Imagine that. It's awkward asking for a business card. Wow. But it's a generational shift. Next up from Reuters, an ex-Janus Henderson analyst was found guilty of using confidential information on companies including Daimler, Jet2, THD to make nearly £1 million in insider trading after a London court trial. The defendant was found guilty, having pled not guilty, and will be sentenced July 4th. Of course, it's in the UK, not the US. So there is interesting that the working from home really led to the insider trading. Next up from the New York Times, Andrew Higgins reports that a former senior official at Interpol has been detained in the UAE under an arrest warrant alert issued by his former employee at the request of France. The former official is wanted in France and his home country of Moldova in connection with a sprawling investigation into a scheme that allowed wanted fugitives to get red notices lifted in return for payments to corrupt officials. I know you're shocked, just shocked to find that someone at Interpol would be guilty of corruption. Yet, here we are. Really no surprise that Interpol was pierced in this manner, but the defendant, Vitaly Perlog, has been apprehended and now faces multiple charges, including forgery, bribery, facilitating bribery, and fraud. So the scheme allegedly occurred from 2017 to 2022. Finally, from the technology section of the Wall Street Journal, the EU court advisor has backed Google's $4.7 billion fine levied in the EU as clearly another setback for Google in its years-long battle against an antitrust fine. So now Google will have to determine the next steps it's going to take. But $4.7 billion, maybe it's not a rounding error to Google, but it might be. I hope you have a great weekend, and check out 10 for 10, curating the top 10 compliance stories for the week ending June 21, 2025 on the Compliance Podcast Network. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.